Hey there, it's Ian Nelson with eXp Realty. We're going to go into the April National Market News Update blog that I just published this morning. And if you want to come take a look, we got some pretty exciting news starting to happen in the real estate market. So let's pop that baby open. All right, so I got a blog published. There'll be a link in the caption down below so you can get into that. But right now we're going into mortgage rates. They've finally dropped below 6%, 5.99%, but that's the first time in a few months we've seen anything below 6%, which is great in the affordability. When it comes to purchasing a home and trying to find something in the Chicago area. But other cool parts on this in Chicago is just the rate of appreciation that's happened in homes, the strength of the Chicagoland market, and how well home values have been holding, even with all the talk about different massive fall offs in the housing market between 15-20% that people were kind of touting off last fall. None of that has actually come to fruition. So we're looking at a really strong market year over year in the top 20 cities. Chicago right at 4.8%. The only ones really having any sort of downslide is the West Coast areas around the tech sector. But they've been seeing massive climbs pretty much since the 90s consistently year over year. So where they're priced at right now, affordability wasn't really great for anybody, if you ask me, in my professional opinion. Price movements, all that stuff in here. Not a lot happening. This is all just in terms of January month over month starting this year. Not much for drops. There's a few cities still in the green, which is perfect. Chicago really hasn't had a change at all. So the market showing very, very strong there. Many of these other markets are 1/10 of a percent, 2/10 of a percent down. Not that 15 to 20% drop in home values that everybody was touting about. It is 1/10 of a percent, so barely anything. I say Seattle right here is one of the highest ones, Vegas, one of the highest ones, but then again, that's what's happening on the West Coast. Nothing to do with the Midwest here. Rise in these repeat sales. Home appreciation peaked last June before everything really started falling off. But if you look at it in the grand scale of things, homes still appreciated at a great value. In Chicago, nationally, this all looks kind of like a 8% at the peak, finishing out the year at 6%. So if you want to check into Chicago, your local market, it is hyper localized. So different areas, different neighborhoods are going to have different values. And if you want to get a closer detail on that, just reach out to me directly and we can get into the nitty gritty there. Everything showing where everything went negative last year. We had the huge fall in August, and that was really when they just started bumping up those Fed rates, and everything was kind of on hold. And then we had a little bit of birth of life back in November, and things seem to be pulling through this curve. So we're hitting that upward trend again at the beginning of the year. And the way things went in February, it seemed to have climbed a little bit more. Held off a little bit at the beginning of March because there was that looming rate hike and people wanted to see what happened. But once we saw those banks starting to have a little bit of trouble, there was a breath of fresh air there. Everything else, it'll kind of close up, let you know a little bit more about the market in Chicago. But if you have any questions, I'm Ian with eXp. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I have appointments available for late spring, early summer listings and purchases. So feel free to book those whenever you need. I will talk to you later. Thanks.